So, racism against Native Americans. What is racism? I'll tell you. It's the belief that all members of each race possesses characteristics or abilities specific to that race. But today, I kind of just want to focus on one thing: racism against Native Americans. It has existed since the colonial era. More specifically, 1492, when a white man named Christopher Columbus stepped on our land. He took down nearly majority of our population and crammed us into ships with no food or medicine to sell us into slavery. Hundreds died, 0 were buried. The sailors tossed our bodies into the Atlantic as if we were nothing. If we died on land, they would feed us to their hunting dogs for food. Not only didn't Columbus enslave us, he ripped us of our culture. He made us convert to Christianity. Any refusal meant severe consequences. He burned our villages to the ground so we would fall in line under his control. He didn't care if he had to take children from their parents' arms, husbands from their wives, as long as he profited power. Columbus managed to kill 1/3 of our population with the help of his men in that year alone. Later on, in the year of 1830, President Andrew Jackson signed off on the Indian Act removal, pushing our people into small reservations to live on as white settlers took over our land. The main purpose or reasoning is because the U.S. government wanted us under its control. It's funny and crazy how we opened our home to others and they legit overed on our land and killed us in order to succeed. So it's just a little fucked up. In the year of 1879, Richard Henry Pratt created the first off-reservation boarding school. It was designed to kill the native in us. Tens of thousands of native children were forced to attend. We were forbidden to use our language or names, where we couldn't practice our religion and culture. We were forced to go by the name given to us by the white man. We were told to cut our hair and wear the clothes they gave us, and we were only allowed the English vocab, or else you'd get beaten otherwise. Years later from that, from 1973 to 1976, a total of 3 years, more than 3,400 indigenous women in the care of the U.S. Indian Health Service were sterilized without their consent, meaning they had their ability to have kids taken away from them without them giving them the yes or the no. In reality, I'm pretty sure it was held against their will. I mean, what gives anyone the right to take that opportunity or option away from somebody? I just think it's inhumane. 41 years later from that, in the year of 2017, you would think that the government would change and treat us more respectfully. Nope. They just approved and signed off on allowing a pipeline to run through one of our tribal rivers. If the pipeline bursted, our water supply would be severely damaged. Our wildlife will suffer. Our sacred land could be at risk of permanent damage. But in the government's eye, they see money and profit, not someone's home. I just think it's messed up that they already killed, raped, beaten, and enslaved us. Stole our land and freedom, but still demand and take more of it. It's just so inhumane and selfish. To make things worse, it's the land that they signed off on to be a native territory, also known as a reservation. So I think it's just fucked up. Finally, today, the present, 2019, the government has a couple of tribes into debt, where we are literally fighting for housing and mandatory essentials. They still put us at the bottom of their concern list. How I see it, if we have nothing on our reservations, we're forced to live off the reservation, meaning we work their taxed jobs and pay them instead to live and work on our own land, putting them in more control of us. That's not all. The people of America today is just getting worse. They think it's okay to disrespect our culture by dressing up like us, like a Native American, like it's a costume, when our culture, it's not a style or a make-believe. The regalia, it's very sacred to us. It's not a joke. We were forced to hide our ways for so long because it was forbidden, because the government took it away. So for non-Native Americans to act like a Native in regalia, it's very offensive and very racist to us. It makes us who we are. And another thing people seem to do a lot these days, they place these stereotypes on us because of what they read or think they know about us. They believe that natives are all the same, that we're all economically disadvantaged, that we're all alcohol and drug driven, that we have major health disparities, and we're highly violent. Not only are people placing stereotypes on us that aren't always true, because I know a lot of the stuff that people think that they know about us, for me, is not true. They have also managed to profit from our culture too, in other ways, by using images of us to advertise and market merchandise like tobacco, marijuana, and food. I believe that people need to take a second look on racism against Native Americans, because people forget that we are the ones who actually were murdered for being who we are. Everyone focuses on how blacks are mistreated and how Mexicans get deported, but no one talks about how we lost everything due to racism, and how we are the number one race to either go missing or be killed. People put us on the back burner for so long that they forgot we exist, but we're still here, and we want you guys to listen to us and hear our voices. Please share and like and subscribe.